No doubt, it's a well-established fact that Homo sapiens are very curious beings and will never stop delving in research, studies, and asking questions in a bid to get answers. One of such curiosity and mystery that's yet to be demystified are underwater discoveries. Unlike other discoveries, there's so much to cover, with Earth being made up of 71% water. Underwater discoveries are almost impossible to make new findings and discoveries due to the inaccessibility and the professionalism of skills required to go underwater. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 mysterious and interesting underwater discoveries. Jason Voorhees, Minnesota Lake. The very first underwater discovery is the Jason Voorhees Minnesota Lake. Minnesota is known to be a city that has a lot of lakes and is termed as the land of 10,000 lakes. One of these is our subject of discourse for discovery. The specific lake we're looking at is Crystal Lake. Crystal Lake, Minnesota houses the statue of Jason Voorhees, which was erected in 2013 by Curtis Lahr. The statue was built and placed underwater. This giant-sized statue of Jason Voorhees in Minnesota Lake is to replicate the horrifying scene of Friday the 13th. This scary scene sees how Jason was killed by being chained at the bottom of Crystal Lake. Curtis placed this statue underwater as deep as 120 feet. This was to scare, ward off, and control the intrusion of divers into the lake, and was actually effective to a great extent. Jason Voorhees is a fictitious character in the film of Friday the 13th. Curtis was a popular artist and replicated that horrifying and scary character below Minnesota Lake. Divers and a handful of people who have experienced seeing this have described it as a human figure chained up holding a machete, which is truly terrifying to see when unexpected, and the unknown reason for it being placed there. As much as the statue is a representation of a fictitious character and not a real-life person nor event, people have failed to come to terms with that reality and are continually haunted and disturbed by the sight. Still, they equally acknowledge that the event on Friday the 13th never happened. The statue also has a mask where its eyes remain open, and divers describe it as the most horrifying feature when you stumble upon it, because it's as though the statue has been starved and hungered with the way it's been chained underwater. It's earnestly waiting for the slightest opportunity to let loose and kill whoever dives in that spot, or even embark on a mission to murder anybody it comes across. In addition, other factors that contribute to the horrifying and scary sight of the Jason Voorhees statue in Minnesota is a result of how it's been covered with dirt and algae, coupled with how it's been bound and chained 120 feet below. Number 2. Tamu Massif. The Tamu Massif is a volcano that existed underwater and is termed shield volcano. The name Tamu Massif is derived from the names of 2 scientists that made landmark studies as regards the submarine volcano. The Tamu Massif is termed a shield volcano because it's mostly made up of flows of fluid lava. The shield volcano is a distinctive type of volcano, and is quite different from the stratovolcano because it erupts at a high fluid and low viscosity lava and travels far, possessing quite a number of broadsheets. A geologist from Austria, Edward Suez, coined the term shield volcano from a German term. The Tamu Massif, though now extinct, existed in the northwest of the Pacific Ocean and shares characteristics with that of the mid-ocean ridge because of the structural patterns of magnetic striping on its sides. The Tamu Massif volcano is located east of Japan, 1,600 kilometers from the Shatsky Rise, which approximately spreads over the expanse of 553,000 square kilometers and the height of 4,460 meters. Researchers on the 5th of September 2013 asserted that further study and researchers could validate their claims that the Tamu Massif will be the largest single volcano known to have existed on Earth. William Sager and his co-researchers were quoted to have submitted that the Tamu Massif is the biggest single shield volcano ever discovered on Earth. the size of this volcano is reputed to be an addition of the sizes of Ireland and New Mexico. The nomenclature of this extinct volcano is derived from the name of the university, where William Massif and his team who researched the Tamu Massif once taught, Texas A&M University, while the massif is a French word which means massive, meaning that it is a demarcated portion of the Earth's crust divided by flexures and faults. The existence of the Tamu Massif is one that was originally doubted, but was occasioned as the result of a geographical eruption period as far back as 145 million years ago, before it finally became extinct after existing shortly for a few number of years. Researchers have affirmed and asserted that the volcano will most likely never erupt now, nor any time in the near future. The Moho line has extended further than 30 kilometers below the depth of the Tamu Massif, making it extremely difficult for the magma to infiltrate and penetrate. This makes Tamu Massif much larger than the supervolcano found at the Yellowstone National Park. For the past few years, researchers and scientists have kept a close eye on Yellowstone's activity. The giant supervolcano is still considered active and contains a reservoir of magma big enough to fill up the Grand Canyon several times over. A park official has come forward and said that Thermal Spring near Old Faithful in Yellowstone National Park has erupted for the 4th time in the last 60 years. This particular spring went from being dormant to spewing steam and water between 20 and 30 feet high. Something to note is this height hasn't been recorded since 1957. Activity that's been witnessed includes new erupting vents and surface fractures. This has meant that officials at the park have had a close boardwalk in the popular upper basin. They did this because getting hit with water can injure people due to the heat. Recently, there's been an increase in the gas outlet and seismic activity, both under and above the ground surface. Many people have begun to get nervous. Seismologists have said that if there was an eruption at Yellowstone, there would be mass destruction. As of today, Tamu Massif is still the largest volcano on Earth. The Ulu Burin Shipwreck. The Ulu Burin ship dates back as far as the late 14th century BC in the Bronze Age. Objects found aboard the shipwreck depict that the ship lived in an era where bronze was at the centre of international trade between Europe, Africa, etc. It's been termed the Ulu Burin Shipwreck because the discovery of the wreck was very close to the eastern shore of Ulu Burin, a Turkish word which means Grand Cape. Study and examination were done on the wood and other bits of the shipwreck, revealing and concluding that the carvings and type of wood used couldn't have existed before the 13th century. Peter Kuneholm said, "As much as the exact date of the ship sinking cannot be ascertained, it's quite sure that it would have sunk only after 1305 BC. The historical discovery was made by a local sponge diver close to Bodrum near the summer period of 1982. The discovery prompted a museum of underwater archaeology to gather an inspection team and another group of archaeologists on an assignment to fish out the shipwreck and gather as much as possible of the bits of wreck they could find. The shattered amounts of bits and pieces of the shipwreck has made scientists conclude that the Ulu Burin ship was headed for one of the cities in Greece. The excavation of the shipwreck began in 1984 and ended in 1994, and since then, different analysis and examinations have been continually carried out to get more accurate detailings. The last unexplored frontier of our planet is not the endless deserts or impassable mountains, but rather the oceans of our world. They seem to hold a number of impossible to understand discoveries that scientists are still attempting to clarify. Every year, researchers discover new artifacts that have been submerged beneath the depths. Each of these give us a fascinating insight into Earth's past. So what do you make of these interesting underwater discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community whilst working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.